I'm Louise Ashford and I'm here with Joanne Segars, Chief Executive of the National Association of Pension Funds. Joanne, would you say there's a theme to the National Association of Pension Funds conference this year?
So our theme this year is about sustainability. It's about sustainability of pensions, of course. We're looking very much at the here and now of pensions, auto-enrolment, some of the key immediate challenges, but looking beyond that to how we create a really sustainable pension system. And linked to that, some of the issues around the sustainability of our investments and their wider impact on creating a sustainable environment.
How far do you think we are towards the goal of achieving a sustainable pension system?
Well, I think we've come a long way. I mean, if I sort of turn my mind back to last year's conference, and at that stage we were looking at auto-enrolment, we just sort of fired the trigger, I guess, on auto-enrolment, but a year on, we've seen many, over 1 million people new saving in pensions, really high opt-in rates. And that's been fantastic, hardly anybody coming out of their pension. So I think we've come a long way over the last 12 months in creating the foundations for that sustainability. Our challenge now is to make sure that as we go through auto-enrolment for smaller schemes, those low opt-out rates stick, and that auto-enrolment works for smaller employers so that we can really start to see saving in a pension just be something that people in this country do. It's just part of the fabric of what we do in the UK. And I think we've come a long way in the last 12 months.
Yes, but there is still further to go, as you say. For smaller schemes, there are perhaps some concerns next year that it's going to be a very busy time for consultants and advisors, and I suppose the concern is that that small schemes might struggle to access advice on auto-enrolment. What sort of issues do you think there are around preparing small schemes for auto-enrolment?
Well, I mean, I think you put your finger on a big issue, which will be about accessibility to advice. We've tried to do our bit here at the NAPF by helping small employers. We've set up an auto-enrolment website, we've got some video clips on that, we've got some information sheets, we've got some Q&A facilities, so that particularly smaller employers can get access to information free of charge, independent information, and more importantly, they can learn from their peers. So they can learn from people who've been through auto-enrolment, they've seen it, they've done it, and they've lived to tell the tale. So that is really important in terms of helping those small employers and giving some practical information and advice to those employers. But you're absolutely right, it will be a crunch time for advisors, but also providers, in making sure that they can manage that process of auto-enrolment really, really slickly.
Yes, and sustainability is of course more than just about making sure that auto-enrolment is a success. There are longer term challenges as well once some people are auto-enrolled, such as I suppose making sure that investment options are suitable for people. How much work do you think the industry still has to do on the investment choice issue?
Well, I think there's clearly a lot of work going on there. The government have done some work on default funds. We're looking at that through the pension quality mark. So that will be another big test. Getting people in schemes is one thing, making sure people are in the right schemes that provide good value for money and deliver good outcomes is another matter altogether. And that is the next big challenge. And I think that's got a couple of aspects to it. It is about making sure pensions deliver good value for money. That's about governance, it's about cost, it's about making sure that as much of a pound of pension contribution delivers as much of a pound of income when someone retires. But it's also about the quantum that goes in. So, at the moment we're sort of working our way slowly up to an 8% statutory minimum. Big challenge, I think, certainly post 2015, post the election, and it feels to me like we're in an 18-month general election campaign right now. It does have to be about thinking about that quantum of money going into pensions, because ultimately that's going to be a key test as well.
Yes, absolutely. I suppose one issue is around cost, as you were saying, yeah. and obviously the Office for Fair Trading recently shied away from recommending a cap on pension charges. Do you think that was the right choice?
Well, I think it probably is right to say, well, let's not go for a hard cap. Let's see what we can do. And we have to acknowledge that actually costs and charges have come down. But for us, it's about tackling the sort of structure of the pensions market. We've got a very, very diversified market, but we've got something like nearly 40,000 separate DC schemes in the UK. That's really very, very fragmented, and sort of too fragmented. So what we would like to see is a move to a fewer larger schemes. Now the OFT sort of set that out as a long-term potential direction of travel, we want to see that much sooner. And I think again over the last 12 months we've seen some quite encouraging developments with a number of new master trusts coming in and improving their governance. So they've got some really good and genuinely independent governance overseeing those master trusts. So I think there are some good signs in the market. We'd like to see a bit more there, and we'd like to see a sort of further regulatory push there. I mean, it's one of the things I spoke about at last year's conference. To really start to develop, we call them super trusts, but these big collective schemes with good quality governance where you can really get costs down and deliver good value for money.
Yeah, okay. And finally, Joanne, is there a session at this year's conference that you're particularly looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to all of them. I'm looking forward to hearing what Steve Webb's got to say. He always keeps something up his sleeve. He always keeps a challenge for the industry up his sleeve. I'm looking forward to hearing how our environmental sustainability session is going to pick up the challenges that Prince Charles is going to lay down for us. And I'm looking forward to actually catching up with members. It's a great opportunity. We've got nearly 1,600 members coming to the conference. It's going to be a great opportunity to really catch up with them, see as many of them, and it's a fantastic opportunity for the industry to network.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us today, Joanne.
Thank you very much.